I'm still very much liking it. I'd love to know what Luke thinks when he's...
As I mentioned last week, I am moving again.
Oh, yeah.
I will have access to Netflix because the package I've bought with a certain provider comes with 6 months free Netflix.
Oh, is it a Richard Branson product?
It might just
Excellent, because I got that and I already had Netflix and it still allowed me to have 6 months free.
It is a self-service job, so watch this space.
Watch this space. Well,
American Crime Story as well.
Well, I just wanted to wrap up. We talked a lot about this when it first aired, and it ended, and surprise, look away now if you don't want it spoiled, he got away with it. The series opened my eyes to kind of like the stories around it. I mean, as I said before, I remember watching the court case and the stuff when it happened. I remember very vividly being home when the announcement came, because it was, you know, sort of early evening in British time, sort of midday-ish American time. Because this was a drama based on several books, you don't know how much, and obviously the conversations aren't real because no one documented everything that was said outside the courtroom. But obviously the stuff in the courtroom was documented very thoroughly. I felt like as the series went on, they became more serious and moved away from the stupidity. You know, David Schwimmer's character stopped saying juice every 5 seconds.
Oh, good.
You got it, Juice. When Chris and I broke up, the Juice was there for me every night. It's like he's not really the Juice anymore. We gotta get you dressed, Juice. Juice, a will? Juice. Come on, Juice. Juice! Juice, it's AC. Juice! AC's here! Juice? I heard Juice. It's on every channel. You know I feel the same, Juice. You're gonna tell them yourself, Juice. Juice? Juice, your whole family's here, Juice. She's on the house phone waiting to talk to you, Juice. Juice. Okay, Juice? Okay, Juice, we're good to go. You're home, Juice. You know Uncle Juice, and your Uncle Juice is a good man.
He's never going to stop being the Juice.
It could explain a lot, Juice. Just hear him out, Juice. He's right, Juice. Listen, Juice. Juice, this is your life. Juice, please, Juice. Juice, we need an answer.
It's almost as if halfway through someone said, look, we're not doing a comedy, you know. We're doing a drama. People died, you know.
I think that's like the Ryan Murphy influence, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
Of Glee and American Horror Story.
I think as the series went on, as I say, it became better, more believable, and I was, as you say, drawn in by Sarah Paulson's performance, and also I would say, O.J. Simpson,
Cuba Gooding
Jr. Thank you. I thought it was very believable, and they did do the pathos at the end. You know, the fact that he got off, but his life was never the same, and then they did do the very kind of good thing where they showed you a picture of the actor versus a picture of the character, the real person, and what they went on to do. The only person who didn't write a book on their experience was the Judge Ito. Several of them have passed away. I mean, obviously this was, sort of mid-90s, so it's quite possible. But I didn't realise that obviously Robert Shapiro is still practicing law. That was the John Travolta character. Robert Shapiro, appeared in court against one of his fellow defendant people, which is very interesting, that the tensions carried on after this case. And that Johnny Cochran passed away. I had no idea. I didn't.
Oh, I didn't know.
That was many years ago. He set up a law firm in his name and then died of brain cancer, I believe, about 10 years ago. So. What will be interesting is what they do next. Some people I've heard some rumours suggesting they might go and do Hurricane Katrina.
That's sort of been covered in Treme.
Well, that's right. Although that was that ran for 3 or 4 series, and I don't think many people saw it. So it would be interesting, and as you say, it would be interesting to see. But I don't know if there was a court case around Treme. I know there were lots of people suing afterwards because they believed that the American government failed them, but I don't know.
Sky drama then on the reviews.
Yes.
The 5 is a new 10 parts drama on Sky One, written by, the story's by Harlan Coben, isn't it? The author,
or inspired by him, but it's actually the episode.
Danny Brocklehurst, who Ordinary Lies, The Driver, and he's got another one coming up that they've just announced as well, starring Maya Naburi. The 5 of the title is basically 5 kids who went off one day and only 4 came back. In the present day, we see the 4 of them. We have a lawyer called, is it Mark the lawyer?
I believe so, yes.
Played by Tom Cullen, who's probably best known from Downton Abbey. he's basically very, very broody all the time, broods over
Is he the guy that goes running a lot in the episode?
Yeah. No, or is that the social worker goes running a lot?
I can't remember which one was which. There was a little bit of...
Oh, no, it is Tom.
Yeah,
Tom.
He just goes running a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of running,
yeah.
a lot of staring into middle distance. Then you've got the Interceptor. He is playing a cop again in this.
Mr. O.T. Fagbula, is it, or something?
Fagbinelli?
I don't know.
Something like that. His character is a police officer who discovers that the DNA of the missing boy, who is Mark's brother, has been found at a crime scene.
Yeah, a hotel.
The most intriguing character for me in this is the social worker played by Lee Ingleby. And then there's the token woman played by Sarah Soleimani, Prue, who's the sort of... There's obviously was something between her and Mark at one time or another.
And she's a private doctor now, which...
Yeah, but I found her character to be the weakest of the four. She's basically... Let's bring her in, and she's just another.
I think
token woman.
I think she'll become more later. One very strange thing was, the scene where he slapped one of the kids on the backside and said, "Nice."
Was it a kid or was it his co-worker?
No, it was.
I think it was his co-worker because we saw her in a later scene when they were at like a disco.
Yeah. But even then, it was weird. It was.
It was a bit weird. But not as weird as him going into a room with a gun at the end.
No, there was that. Well, that's what you're supposed to kind of think is the mysterious bit.
Obviously, we see a lot of flashbacks to this sort of disappearance where we see different bits like the young Slade going, come back, Jesse, or Jesse, hang on. They find another missing person, don't they?
Best scene in the whole of the first episode is the birthday party, where his dad gets up and does the "my son, the mate," happy birthday and all that. And then the mum gets up and does this very awkward, "I have two sons." And at the end,
Geraldine James is the best thing in this, as she is in most things. But I would say overall, I felt there was a lot more plot than there was character development. I felt I didn't really...
That is Harlan Coben's style, I would say.
Yeah, but I don't feel I got to care or get to know any of these characters. And it was very, very... I suppose it was Sky, so they got a lot of money to throw at it. But I found the style of it very sort of almost like alienating, and the music as well was quite...
Yeah, the music wasn't good.
I mean, it kept my interest because of the amount of plot that it threw at me, but at the end I couldn't... I sat there and go, am I that interested? And I don't think I'll be keeping up with it. I don't know about you.
I think I will watch the second episode. I have it recorded, and then I'll make a decision. Because, as I say, I'm a Harlan Coben fan, and I did see some of his traits. He's known as a guy that writes good... So, the fact that the DNA turned up is a total Harlan Coben type of twist. I think I will give it one more episode. The one thing that annoyed me, I mean, I know Luke will say the guy, the Interceptor, Mr. O.C. Fagbinelli, is not a good actor, and I would tend to agree. There was the scene right at the end where he's chasing the guy on the caravans, and I thought, clearly they want a bit of action in here, and it's a fabricated way of doing it, and I didn't like it, and it did.
I find him quite a one-dimensional actor. He just puffs and puffs a lot, doesn't he? And
they introduced some very nice bits, and I think they did some good storytelling. His dad has very early signs of Alzheimer's or dementia, and they've got a plot based on that. So, I mean, they've woved a lot into one episode, and Sky are showing it as 2 episodes every week, so almost a 2-hour show every Friday. So they're going to be done by this within 5 weeks, or 4 now. I think they've done that because there's so much, as you said, there's so much plot that they want people to kind of watch the episodes back to back and not have to wait too long for the next one.
Just a bit of an update as well. It'll be on Match of the Day that
is that why they showed you
companion?
Oh, right. So is it Dan Walker or Gary Lineker?
Chris Kamara. Oh no, it's Sky, isn't it?
Unbelievable, Jeff.
While we're on Sky, I'll just quickly talk about the second series of The Tunnel, which was the adaptation of The Bridge. The first series was, at least, and obviously the characters are Carl and Elise, played by Stephen Delane, and Clemence Posse, are the versions of Martin Rowe and Saul Gonoran in this. Basically, the tunnel is the Channel Tunnel. You've got the British police officer and the French police officer. I believe the first series, which I only watched the first episode of, which aired in 2013.
It was a while ago.
3 years between series.
And it's fair to say that this episode had been delayed because of the similarities to incidents in Belgium.
But this series generally has been, is an original idea, which has sort of got a renewed my focus on this. Whereas the first series, you're always looking for, this happened on the bridge, this happened on the bridge, this happened on the bridge. There are still elements of like the characters, obviously, that have carried over. Because Carl Roebuck lost his son at the end of the last series, as Martin did in the bridge. So he's still he's still struggling to deal with that. He's sort of taken another, like, a lower pressure job, whereas Elise is going for a promotion, and they're doing the thing I think they did with Saga, where she has to try and like be nice to her colleagues and things like that, and out of the blue sort of thing.
Right.
Like a Nordic noir, there's a lot of different elements going on. The sort of signature plot to begin with was about a couple who disappeared while in the tunnel on their way to England, and their daughter, or it's her daughter, the sort of a stepfather. So her mum and stepfather were kidnapped in the tunnel, and they're trying to find out what happened to them. Amelia Fox is in this as like a sort of chain-smoking gangster who organises marriages of convenience, and she's got a connection to the main crime plot in some aspect. And it ends with this really well sort of choreographed plane crash, which is so well done. The images of it are so vivid. I thought it was incredibly well done. I thought the writing was very good, and the two performers as well, Clemence Posey and Stephen Delane, who were just like great chemistry and both play their characters really well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I've just almost finished now the second episode as well, which it's the second episode that's got quite a lot of similarities with the Belgian tragedy rather than the first. There is some very sort of, basically a lot of like, there's a gunman going on the rampage in the second episode. So.
Okay. If I've not watched series 1, can I still join in on series 2, do you think? Do you think there's enough of a...
I mean, I only watched the first episode of series 1, but I think I know most about it because of the bridge.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. So, because I'm quite tempted to watch this. I'd have to do it on catch-up or something, because it's diverging away from the bridge, but still staying loyal to like the theme and the ideas of it, which is something that the American version struggled with. I know particularly the American version of The Killing struggled with the idea of when they tried to diversify, everybody really got offended by it.
Well, I think everyone got offended by the fact that they didn't reveal who the murderer was at the end of the first series.
Well, that's right, and also that they did a different murderer to The Killing.
Well, I don't think that matters as much.
Well, I think purists didn't like it, but you're right. New fans, you never knew who the murderer was until you went to the second series. Undercover, you still watching?
I am still watching Undercover.
Tell us about Undercover, go on.
Are you not still watching
I am, no, I am. But I've just...
Undercover, we got to the point this week where she'd been given the job of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and she wants to find out about Michael Antwi, who was murdered, as we saw, in 1996. This sort of was the one that flipped most back between now and then, isn't it?
Yeah, first week was mostly in the present, the second episode was mostly in the past, this one kind of fit between the two.
And you saw that the witness that had come forward was indeed the Leanne Best character, Abigail, who sadly got killed.
Run over and run back over, just to make sure that the job was done.
After a heroin overdose as well that they gave her. Which was sad, because I like that character. I would have liked to have seen more from that character.
Really? All right.
And they also introduced Angel Coulby, who is in the tunnel as well, as the journalist friend of Maya and Nick, who now believes that he was having an affair with Abigail because she saw them kissing, didn't she?
Yes, that's right.
As they were dropping their kids off at Oxford. Again, there's a lot of plot in Undercover. But I think the characters are well-rounded, certainly the Adrian Lester and Sophie Okonedo characters. How are you feeling about Adrian Lester now?
Okay. I mean, I don't think I hated him. I just think it was just, I just don't think he's very good as an actor. I think he does one look. I think this is leading to a big reveal at some point, and it's obviously going to put a real pressure on her job and everything. And then I suppose we should say right at the end that we get this unresolved bit about the epileptic fit again. Well, I assume it's an epileptic fit.
Yeah.
Where she's having a fit, and I assume that this is the first time he's seen it, Adrian Lester's character, because he doesn't exactly react calmly. He kind of chucks the autistic boy out into the garden with the dog and holds her, as if he's never seen it before.
Pick of the week,